Hi friends, I hope you're having a great day. Today is part 2 of our miraculous body, and it's interesting because I just want to pose a question to start off of what would life be like if we all operated from the perspective that our body was doing the absolute best that it can given all the present circumstances or all the present conditions. And that could be a combination of stress, so that can be physical, chemical, mental, emotional stress. That can be what we're eating, what we're thinking, what we're doing. That could be how we're either running away from an aspect of feeling something or allowing our system to integrate what's happening in that moment so that we don't need to continually come back to the same pattern from the past and essentially have these opportunities to find that relief or resolution. So what would it be like if you were to operate from the perspective that your body is marvelous, that your body is just simply brilliant? And it seems as though, if we were to operate from that perspective on a routine basis, if we were to extend that loving grace, extend that gratitude, that sense of just being so grateful for our body, then the cells of our body naturally will start to align with that particular frequency. And even if we're experiencing something that is unwanted, recognizing that it might have something to do with something different than your body. Because your body is just a reflection. It's an outer reflection as far as what we're seeing, but it's an inner reflection of the state that we are essentially broadcasting through our own frequency. And so if our body is a representation of that, then it can be a really key indication that if something's not working well in our body, it's just our way, it's our body's way of letting us know, hey, let's clean up some vibration that's not helping right now. Rather than looking at the body as this isolated thing. Because the moment that we look at anything in life, but especially our physical body, as separate than this whole experience in life, we start to look at the body as if it's its own entity. And when it's its own entity, it's either doing something right or wrong, doing something good or bad, doing something wanted or unwanted. Whereas the overall perspective of our body is essentially just changing forms. And it's changing forms in relation to our state of alignment. And so we may be inspired to ask for help at times. And that inspiration can come in the form of how our body is feeling. But really what that's doing, what anything is doing, whether we're taking a supplement, whether we're getting adjusted, whether we're getting a massage or acupuncture or using essential oils, whatever it is, it's all helping to align to a particular frequency. Because the cells of our body are essentially just aligning to the frequency that is dominant in each of our energy fields. And so if the body is just a reflection, then can we observe that reflection? And can we look at it and say, wow, this is something that's actually here to help me consistently? Because it's a direct representation of how I am actually experiencing life, whether it's from that state of alignment, that state of truth, that state of connection, or maybe from a place that is a little bit more disconnected. Now, just because you're experiencing something physically also doesn't make it to where it's anything that's wrong with your body, right? Just because we have a symptom that comes forth, it doesn't necessarily mean that something is wrong. It just means that there is some imbalance. And those can be very closely related, but they can be experienced and interpreted in very different ways. Because the moment that we look at something as being wrong is the moment that we now need to react or we need to take an action step in order to fix it. But the moment that we just look at the current state of our body as either in balance or not, then that state of imbalance is a temporary state. And so what happens is now we can be inspired to ways of finding balance such that the body can then reflect that overall state of balance. But sometimes we look at things as being so specific, right? Oh, everything has to do with this system of the body, or everything has to do with this location of the body. But sometimes it fits into that category and sometimes it doesn't. And so what does that let us know? It lets us know that it's not an end-all be-all as far as this one system reacts or responds in this particular way based on what we're eating, what we're thinking, what we're drinking, what we're doing, how we're experiencing life. And so let's take a step back and see that there are so many different things that need to happen in order for our body to continually compensate on a daily basis, sometimes reflecting in pain or tension or some symptom. But really what it's doing is it's showing us that there is a greater imbalance as far as what we're focusing on and as far as how we're feeling, which is represented in our thoughts. So when you notice that these thoughts come forth, right, we're going to slowly shift gears here a little bit, because now the concept of our thoughts, of the way that we feel, we have to recognize that, number one, we are not our thoughts. We are not the way we feel. We're just interpreting. We're just experiencing. And this is essentially kind of our guidance system. And so whatever is most dominant in your field as far as a thought, as far as a feeling, is going to then be reflected in how you perceive others, how you perceive life, and how you perceive yourself. And so if we can recognize that these thought forms that come forth that are most dominant, where we have 40, 50, 60,000 thoughts per day, where most of them are the same thoughts that we have over and over and over again, we have to recognize that the truth of who you are is beyond those thoughts. But we also have to recognize that when we can start to witness those thoughts without the reaction, we start to hold space for then subtly starting to change the association of even the direction of our thoughts, and recognizing that it too is a choice as far as letting this thought pattern kind of play out, which is usually what happens when we go through kind of a downward spiral. Right? And that downward spiral is when we have one little thing that happens and we don't really do anything to kind of clear up our point of attraction. And then what happens is maybe another thing happens and maybe another, and it's just kind of this catalyst that keeps creating significant experiences that are maybe a little bit more unwanted. So it could be more tension, more frustration, more irritation. And the moment that we notice that, the first moment that we notice that, we must be willing to really look at it and to really meet it so that we can understand the direction that we're either going to move unconsciously or the direction that we're going to change to consciously. And that's a key component of this all, is are we operating from a place of conscious connection? And that is conscious alignment with the direction of my thoughts. It's not to say that we eliminate all unwanted thought. It's just to say that when it does come forth, we don't have that same reaction or that same response, because we're able to witness it for what it is, which is just a pattern playing out. It's a pattern that has been repeated so often that a feeling can trigger a thought, or a thought can trigger a feeling, and it's just going to be what you're used to. And so the moment that we start to observe this from a perspective other than being your body, being those thoughts, being that feeling, the moment that we can take that step back and look at how our body is just a reflection, we recognize that that conscious creation, that conscious alignment, that conscious thought, and that conscious integration of the feeling of what actually feels aligned, what feels powerful, what feels connected, what feels present. All of that is going to be significant in your overall day-to-day expression of who you are. And that's also the reflection of how your body is aligning with your truth. So I hope this video was helpful, and I hope it just serves as a reminder to really consciously praise yourself, love yourself, honor yourself. Really be the one to begin taking the necessary steps towards aligning with your truth without waiting for the circumstances to change, without waiting for your body to feel better in order for you to then feel better yourself. You see, you aligning with your truth, that's what creates the momentum for your body to then respond in such a way where now either the cells of your body can respond in a way where we start to create this alignment and this connection, and naturally your body starts to then function better. Or maybe what happens is through that process of tuning to the state that you are wanting, now you're inspired to take that or to do that or to go see that practitioner. And that inspiration is essentially that path of least resistance that will help you then get to that state with your body, but now it's in a way that's inspired rather than forced. So I hope you can praise your body today. I hope you find some time to maybe give yourself a kiss on the hand, maybe just really spend some time, feel what it's like to just sense your body. And know that as your thoughts and as the feelings that have been so dominant in your life start to present themselves, especially in this time of awakening, know that it's an opportunity for you to meet yourself, to meet the way that you're feeling, to honor the way that you're feeling, but also to know that now you can make that conscious shift in a direction towards your alignment, your connection, and the movement towards everything that you want, was it essentially from that place of love. I hope this was helpful. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Like this video, share with family or friends that might be interested, and I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's video. Bye.